Welcome back, everybody. This is Mark 72 of the Super Civil Servants podcast. My name is Greg, and beam me up, Scotty. Holy moly, I haven't watched this movie in a long time, and I'm highly impressed. Can't wait to talk about it.
Hit the record button.
Yes.
Oh, damn it.
You're right. I'm live. I should hit the record
Rewind.
button. Exactly.
Take two. Let's start that again.
Do you want to start again?
Yeah, here we go.
There we go. All right, cool. Welcome back, everybody. This is Mark 72 of the Super Civil Servants podcast. My name is Greg. I'm not going to hit you with the same line again. We're talking about Star Trek tonight. So if you're with us tonight, we're going to review the 2009 Star Trek movie. There's no other name to this, is there? It's just Star Trek, right?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Just Star Trek.
Okay, that's what I thought. So I'll just call it the 2009 Star Trek reboot, and it's going to be a good time. We got a little bit of news to talk about before that. But before we get into the news, let's talk about everybody in the show tonight. Welcome back, Nathan. What's up, buddy? How are you doing?
Hey guys, I'm doing good. It's been a long time. I feel like it's been forever since I've been around on a Friday.
Really nice.
Yeah.
I mean, Greg and I got to shoot the shit with Star Wars Alliance yesterday on Katie. I mean, that's a little spoiler for what's to come or whatever. But other than that, I miss you guys. I want to talk about all the stuff you guys have talked about that I haven't got to run my mouth about, and it's just good to be back on a Friday night and just kind of forget about shit. You know what I'm saying? It's been a rough couple weeks, honestly. Like my birthday hit, and everything went to shit. Like literally birthday shit. You know what I mean? So I'm just ready. I won't bore you guys with all my nonsense, but I'm ready. How are you guys?
Doing great, man. Great to have you back, dude. It's always good to hear from you. With this again, as always, Sarah, what's up?
Hi, fellas. What's going on?
Not a whole lot.
I have waited long time to start up this movie series and
Yes.
to celebrate the occasion. Yes.
Oh yeah.
I can't decide if I'd be more Vulcan or Romulan. I don't know.
She brought her Legolas ears. I mean, wait, what? I'm in the wrong universe. Damn it.
Crossover.
There you go.
Yeah.
I know. I really wasn't down with like the whole, because I do have the wig too, but I'm like, that's just not the look for me. So.
Okay, so after I saw these movies, I wanted to buy a really nice Star Trek shirt, and it's like one of these cosplay looking shirts. So they're not super expensive, but they look good.
Not a red one.
I wanted to buy yellow. Is that a bad thing? What's yellow? I'm not a Star Trek.
That's engineering.
Oh, I'll take
Just
that.
don't get a red shirt. Don't get a red
that.
shirt.
Yeah, that's what I said. Red shirt, no, because you're
No,
done
because if you're red
immediately.
shirt extra, no, that's not good.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, you're done.
Chris is with us tonight too. How you doing, buddy?
Doing good. Had a very busy Friday. Had to mow the lawn, get a haircut, go to the gym, clean the house, do laundry. So I got a lot done in one day.
I hear you, man.
Look at all
I'm
this
very
hotness
tired.
here, guys. I mean, I'm talking. This man is getting his shit together. Chris, I like that. You know what? I like your go get her done attitude, and you better keep that shit up. I like it.
No, I'm gonna collapse this weekend. I'm totally being lazy.
How is school and stuff going? Like in your neck of the woods with everything. I mean, is it as smooth as it can be, or what? I mean,
Yeah,
just a little kind of,
Yeah, it's as smooth as it can be. We're hybrid, so we've got about 35% in the building while the rest of them are online. So, it's different. It's definitely an emptier building, but we're making do. Nice.
Illinois just shut back down. Woo! Go us!
Back down?
Go us! Oh fuck yeah! Yeah, like Wednesday. I mean, hey, and it's getting cold around here. Like it's like right now, it's like 44 out, and they're like, hey, if you want to eat, no indoor eating. You got to eat outdoors. What the fuck am I gonna wear a park outside to eat? Like they closed all the bars down again and stuff, and it's like, it's just that time of year, I guess it's like, I don't know. We're doing great around here. Let's put it that way. We're doing fucking great around here.
I'll tell you what though, my kids are finally in preschool, so they are enjoying that.
Man,
So preschools are open. Where you at?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, my daughter goes back the 9th. My son, he's up for the hybrid, but my son doesn't go back till December. So yeah, that's going to be fun.
Oh my God.
schools are still doing. They've been going around here for a while, but man, like I wanted. It's almost easier right now just to not do the preschool stuff with their kid. I mean, I hate to say that, but it's almost easier to not deal with all. So you know what I mean? Because he's at that age where if I can get him under the radar, but like hopefully he'll never. You know what I mean? I don't know. That's just my thinking. Maybe it's the wrong thinking. Maybe I'm gonna set him up for failure.
He'll be fine. He'll be fine.
You know what I mean? Like I don't know.
Well, with my kids, it's weird because we live in a different school district now than we lived in when they went to school last year because we moved in the middle of the winter last year. We just drove them to school. So this year it's actually working out better for us to not have to drive them. Mm-hmm. And one of my kids, the one who's in 8th grade, loves homeschooling. The one in 4th grade does not. So it's an interesting take on both of them.
Oh.
And this has been your 2020 update with shit in the world. All these super civil servants, guys. Sorry, I derailed us, and I just realized
make sure
this
go out and vote on Tuesday.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? Right. And if you don't, you don't get to bitch one way or the other. Whether you win, lose, or draw, if you don't vote, you don't get to bitch because you didn't do anything. You know what I mean?
Very good point.
No, they did do something. They stood home.
Huh?
Well, you know what I'm saying. You can't be like, well, so and so didn't win, and when you didn't fucking do anything. So,
right.
You know.
Right. Well, hey, before we get into the show tonight, let's go ahead and talk about the network we're on. Nathan, man, you've been gone for a little while, and I heard your plug last night, and I was like, man, he is really good at that. So let's hear your spiel.
God, it was fucking terrible. I don't know what you're talking about.
I loved it, man. I was like, he is quick, concise, to the point. Bam.
Okay. All right. Well, as Greg likes to say, we have shows Monday through Sunday. Every day of the week. And like this is where I'm gonna get a little weird because I know with this new Ranger Alliance joining the show, like it's gonna alternate with Mondays. We got World's Finest True Believers with Mr. Balga here, where him and a guest go over a comic book of their choice. But I think that's gonna be alternating off with Ranger Alliance. I'm probably wrong about that.
Eventually.
Tuesdays you have Greg and Travis doing DC Alliance, covering everything in DC, news, TV, whatever. And then Wednesday you have Mr. Balga again with Snail Trail, Travis Snail, as they talk about everything Marvel. And same thing there. And then Thursday now is basically just slice of film or nothing right now because with Katie as she goes over the film of yesteryear. And because Star Wars now is basically just slice of film or nothing to talk about Mandalorian, which as we are recording today, the first episode dropped. So if you guys would like to hear Katie and I's thoughts and anybody else on the network, it will be 10 o'clock, whatever Greg's time is right now. And it'll be, Eastern, what do you guys specifically? Which one are you? Because I can't remember.
Eastern.
I don't know.
Eastern.
Yeah, okay, you're Eastern, so 10 o'clock. So it's my end, and it'll be 9 o'clock for me. But either way, Sunday morning, join us if you guys want to hear our thoughts on Mandalorian. And then on Fridays, you have superhero discussions with 57 and the Bad Daddy here again as they talk about everything in animation. I know right now, Katie, as she goes over episodes of Spider-Man, the animated series. Before they get into Batman the Animated Series. And then on Friday nights, you got this show right here, which you guys know. Hey, what's up? You're listening to us. And then the audio drops Saturday. And then on Saturday and Sunday, we have Weird Science, DC, and Marvel, where, what is this? Jim, right? He goes over the latest issues and the newest comics of what people are, just dying to get their hands on as it comes out. And we also have a Patreon account with a $1 just helps keep oil in the lanterns, just because, keep us a little going there. And then there's a $5 tier, which kind of gets you exclusive episodes like Chris and everybody. They're doing amalgam chats and exclusive episodes of like top 10s, movie countdowns. You get early access to episodes. You can get ad-free episodes, which, God damn it, that's worth it right there. Just, get it without ads. But, I think that is everything, unless I'm missing something. Well, the new show Ranger Alliance is coming soon, which with Clay and Tony and okay, so it's coming this Sunday, and then I'm curious to hear that one. But I think that's everything, guys.
I think so. I think you nailed it. Only other thing we talked about is the Patreon, which we have 2 tiers.
I just said that.
You just said that.
Were you fucking asleep? What the hell just happened?
I'm writing stuff down. I'm sorry. I heard the whole thing.
You just told me you liked my line. You just told me you liked my line about kerosene and the lanterns and stuff.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh.
Trivia.
Right. Sorry. I had
Trivia.
You're right. Golly. There we go. Yeah, I can't wait.
Trivia in the charity.
Yeah. Let's talk about trivia and charity. On November 7th, we are going to be a part of the Geekverse Podcast Network's 24-hour live stream charity event for BC Children's Hospital. All proceeds go to them. We're trying to raise $1,500. $1,500 will shave Mr. Snell's long blonde locks off his head. It's going to be pretty fun because we're going to hit that this year. We'll be part of it as a trivia contest that we're doing against them. It's going to be Super Civil Servants versus the Geekverse podcast. What are we doing? Marvel, DC, and Star Wars, but movies only, trivia. We have guest hosts that are going to be asking the questions, that have developed the questions, going to be asking them. It's going to be really fun.
Snail wanted to take 57's advantage away by eliminating TV. And like, we know that's why he hasn't been on Marvel Alliance the last couple weeks. He's just been staying at home watching every superhero movie ever made so that he can just have this random shit knowledge. Like, he says he's working, but come on, we know what he's doing. He's like cheating and like writing notes down and shit that he can put on his hand. We know we're on to you, Travis. We're on to you.
Yeah. But anyway, there's the trash talk. And I mean, like I said, he's right. It doesn't really matter. We're going to win this trivia challenge.
Hey,
United.
You know what? You know who wins in this whole ordeal? If we get enough people, the fucking kids win. Because it doesn't matter who knows what about this garbage that doesn't matter. Just that, we love it. But honestly, like 1,500, I don't think that's too bad. I think we should hit that because it's for a great goddamn cause. And I mean, you want to get me to be a sucker for anything? It's kids. Like,
I love.
I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Kids and goddamn in the same sentence.
You know
so
what?
great.
It's like what Reverend Lovejoy's wife would say. Would somebody please think of the children?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, if you're gonna donate to anything, I mean, people are the worst. Like, human beings are the worst, but kids are the fucking best, man. They're innocent, and anything we can do to help kids, like, come on. Like, if there's one good cause on this planet, like, that's a good cause.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, you know what? I've been a firm believer, and I've said this over and over again. I hate people, but I love gatherings. Isn't that strange?
Right. You know what? I get it. I get it.
Yeah, I agree. But yeah, like all that you said, y'all check it out. If you can't donate to it, then share. We'll put the information out there for y'all to check it out and share. Just send some people out there, get the word out. It's the best thing. Like I said, it's for the kids. So, all right. Well, I don't think we have anything else. Do y'all want to go ahead and start talking about a little bit of news?
Sure.
Okay. We don't have a lot, and Nathan, you're take the mic, man.
Well, I was
first,
really...
can I pause real second?
Go.
This is something I meant to ask Greg either a couple of weeks ago. I need to hear what you thought of Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a great point. Let's talk about it. Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Sorry, Nick.
Actually, that was the show.
No, you're fine. No, that's good because now you're right. I want to know it too.
It wasn't that bad. I mean, it wasn't great, but it really wasn't that bad. I mean, I thought it definitely had a feel of like the older Indiana Jones, more towards the beginning. It kind of faded away from that, but in the beginning, it really felt like it, and I was like, oh, okay, they're really catching this mood, this Indiana Jones universe like you want to. It faded away from that a little bit, Shia LaBeouf, or I don't know how you say his name. Shia LaBeouf. But I didn't think he was that bad. He definitely, played the greaser role well. Kind of a douche, but I mean...
douche, no, like real life douche.
Yeah, well, gotcha.
I mean, sorry.
Knife was pretty cool. I mean, I like the idea of it. It was a little on the nose about it being his son. Like, you could see that coming from a mile away, but I don't know if you were supposed to or not. But yeah, I mean, I didn't think it was that bad. Once again, these are not movies that I absolutely love. I enjoy them. So I may not be as critical about, because I know this one didn't set well with a lot of people who love the Indiana Jones franchise. But I didn't think it was all that bad, and the way I look at it is I kind of look at like the way Katie thinks about like Shazam.
If we figured
like
one thing out, that's one person's opinion we can't trust is Katie. So I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I'm telling you, Slice of Film should have been called Hot Takes with Katie. So I'm just saying.
That's actually that's a good idea. Hot Takes.
Yeah,
we should do a mini segment of that.
Right. It just in every Slice of Film episode, just Hot Takes with Katie. She just pulls you into her hot take corner.
Yeah, Nathan, how many tables have you thrown over? Just like...
There's Eric, Legendary Bearded Geek, after we did one, I can't remember what it was. He goes, whoa. After hearing what she was saying on there, he goes, I couldn't listen to it. He goes, but at least you called her out. He goes, He goes, if she has some more hot takes like these, he goes, I'm calling for a mutiny. He goes, we're gonna need somebody to take over the show. And I just sent the gif from Captain Phillips where the guy's like, hey, I'm the captain now. And he was laughing his ass off.
Well, hey, real quick, I do have one question to ask you, Chris, if we're going to talk about Indiana Jones, because I know that I was talking to you as I was watching this movie, and one problem you had with it was the nuclear bomb.
Just one. I just had one problem.
Well,
Right.
I know
right,
a
yes,
problem
right,
you
right.
had with it. What was the nuclear bomb scene with the fridge?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's silly.
while I agree that is completely unbelievable, and like,
But weren't they made of lead back then?
Didn't I
That's
watch him jump out of an airplane on a raft?
It.
I think I watched him jump out of an airplane on a raft, and I think I watched somebody
We
rip
did.
somebody's heart out in the previous
No,
movie.
no,
So,
see,
I mean, I know
We
it
watched
was
a
unbelievable.
face
Well,
melt from
okay,
the Ark of the
all right.
Covenant and shit.
Exactly.
I get it.
I clearly stated on that episode where someone came up to me and said, "Oh my God, aliens, magic! Oh, that's unrealistic." I said, "Really, really? That was what you didn't believe? You had people out of parts out of the film. You had a cup that giving everlasting life and an Ark of a Covenant that melted faces. Really, which part of that was believable to you?"
You know what really killed me in Kingdom of the Crystal Skull? It was like that one scene where they're like Tarzan swinging or whatever. Like I can't remember, but like I saw that and I was like, really? Like I said, I can handle aliens. I can handle this weird shit. But I was like, but that just looks ridiculous. And that one shot of like Shia LaBeouf where like he was getting ready to fight or something. And he's like, wait, hold on. And he pulls a comb out and like combs his hair. I'm like, oh God, yuck. We could have lost that and saved myself 3 seconds of my life right there. I never had to see that shit.
Okay.
Greg, are you really recording? Because I'm not seeing anything on Skype.
I'm not recording on Skype. I'm recording on OBS.
Ah, good.
So,
Mm.
I did
Okay.
record on that. Yes.
She's getting fancy.
I thought about
If
that.
not, we're
I was
just
like,
having
oh,
a
probably
great
thinking I'm recording.
conversation. Are we live on YouTube? Is
We are
anybody?
live on YouTube. I'm
Has
watching
anybody
this.
seen it? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So,
All right.
Nobody
wants to talk to us. Whatever, dicks.
I mean, there were a lot of things about this movie. I think that, like I said, because I don't have the connection or that love to the older ones that maybe some other people do, that maybe that's why this one didn't bother me as much. It seemed more modern. Like I said, you still got that feel of the old movies, but now even going back and watching those old movies now that I'm older, I'm like, wow. I'm like, I get the nostalgia part for the story and everything else, but wow, this looks bad.
No, because I can watch all three of the other ones. No problem. Like total suspense of disbelief. Like I can watch Star Wars
You're a person that
77.
loves
I can
that.
watch
That's
The
what I'm
Dark
saying.
Crystal.
I'm
I can
like
watch
that
all
Star
these
Wars.
old school
I
shit.
feel you. I'm like that about things. I'm just not like that with Indiana Jones. I do like it. I'm just not on that level with it. You know?
Well,
so maybe that's why I like King of the Crystal Skull a little better.
Like I said on that, like I actually liked it better than I remembered. But the first half of the movie feels just like the old Indiana Jones movies. And I don't know what happens, but there's something that happens like right there in that middle where they missed a gear where they were shifting, and like you go, and then we sputtered out a little bit. Like, what the fuck just happened?
That's a great
But we
call
made it
that-
to the finish line. We got there.
What we call that is the George Lucas effect.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But yeah, man. So that was my thoughts, dude. I'm glad you brought that up because we haven't talked about that. You're right. Even, we talk every day, and we haven't ever talked about that. That's a good point. So, all right, Nathan, you had some Spider-Man questions. I've got an old dog yelping about something. Ask the Spider-Man questions to the Marvel man and
So
Miss Taylor.
So like I've heard Chris and rotating guests lately talk about like all the Spider-Man news that's coming and Moon Knight and stuff, and like first of all, Jamie Foxx coming back in as Electro. Hell yeah, because like I personally like the Amazing Spider-Man movies. I like Andrew Garfield. I didn't necessarily like the human persona or the alter ego, you know, before he turns into Blue Electro, like the kind of like bumbling and like that wasn't really cool to think. But when he turned into Electro and like he going and blue in the power, like and like I even liked his voice, how he just kind of sounded tougher and shit. Like I liked Electro. So if they bring him in and he can even, I know he said like no blue or whatever, but like a version of that, like that's gonna be really cool going up against Tom Holland. My is Spider-Man the place to really open up the multiverse? Like, I know Doctor Strange and technically WandaVision is going to really do that in Loki before that, but I didn't expect Spider-Man 3 to be where we're gonna. And I know it's just conjecture, speculation right now, but if you're bringing him in And what was it? And we've already brought like a JJ. Like, wasn't there a rumor that somebody else too from another? Which I know there's been plenty of rumor about Toby or whatever, but I just kind of like, yeah. While I got you here, like, is that the place to continue the multiverse storyline?
Well, I mean,
Spider-Verse, sure.
Well, it's one of those things like, you know, Sony basically said, you know, when the with the Maguire and Garfield rumors, it's saying that those castings are not confirmed, and we kind of talked about that. That's a very interesting thing to say instead of this is not true. Yeah, you could have just said this is not true instead of saying these castings are not confirmed. That's lawyer talk. You know, so. It's an interesting idea because, again, when you bring in Doctor Strange, as you know, Brent and I kind of talked about, it's like, you know, our the story that we shall not be named of Spider-Man when it involves Doctor Strange is he's one of the
Brent's favorite. Brent's favorite. Brand new day. We got right. We know.
Yeah,
his favorite.
Yeah. But you know, within the moving on from that, it was thought that Strange had. You know, was the reason why no one remembered who Peter Parker was Spider-Man.
True. So I remember you saying that, which is interesting.
We don't know how big, you know, it is Doctor Strange being the quote-unquote mentor role. We don't know how big of a mentor role. We don't know, you know, what his specific involvement is, but it is interesting in the sense of the lineup of we go from WandaVision, you know, we got Loki eventually coming out, but we go WandaVision, you know, we have, you know, Falcon and Winter Soldier hopefully coming out soon, but, you know, it's going to be a while before we get to Doctor Strange. So to your point, it's interesting that we're going to get Doctor Strange. So could there be multiverse possibilities? Possibly, more hinting at.
Didn't they move Spider-Man in front of Doctor Strange now? Yes. Right? That's what I mean. So I thought I was right. So like, that's another thing. Okay. So like, technically, WandaVision is my speculation is like they think that's going to be like they talked about the multiverse and Far From Home, you know what I'm saying, when it was just a ruse or whatever, but that got your general audience at least open to the idea or the you know what I'm saying. Now, WandaVision, I think, is where you take that key and you turn that lock a little bit more and you go, look, like she created another reality because they said Evan Peters is in it and like we don't know what it is, but like. Let's just say he really is the Quicksilver from the Fox universe, and they're sucking him in. You know what I mean? Like the multiverse. Like so like you've got it clicked in there, and then like Spider-Man that just seems weird to me that like that's the place that. And I know Spider-Verse and the animated Spider-Verse movie very successful and stuff, but it's just. In the MCU, it just seems strange to me that like maybe Peter's going to be the one that kind of helps usher in the multiverse. Like it just seems weird to me, especially whenever they were like, "No, Doctor Strange is in this," which, like you guys said, it makes sense because their relationship from Infinity War and that repertoire. You know what I mean? Like it makes total sense. You know what I mean? Like he would go to him.
Well, I mean, everyone's in it. Most of the main cast is now in Atlanta. They have received their scripts. Holland posted a video. The actor who plays Ned has posted a video with, you know, him kind of saying this iPad's got the script, and we don't know the title yet. I think the title maybe give us some idea, but you know this is a tough one because again this is technically the last solo Spider-Man movie under the current deal. He's got one more team up. Movie under the current deal with Disney, so it's gonna be a lot of different things because I said this week that this is the movie where Tom Holland Spider-Man needs to become a Spider-Man and then continue on. I do not want to see this character die. This is that would be
why the fuck did Tony die?
Well, it's not even that. It's just we haven't had enough. We haven't had enough time in the sense of him growing up. Like this is our first trilogy with him, the origins of who he becomes. The next set needs to be you are Spider-Man. You are the hero we need you to be. Now you got to start dealing with what does that mean? You know, when you're the hero of New York, what do you need to do? What do you take on your shoulders with that?
Yeah, and that's what we discussed. I remember we talked about that. How I don't want him to die, like leave the universe dying, and somebody else take the mantle. The only exception to that, and you brought up the Iron Man thing. Why did they kill Iron Man? They almost passed the reins over with Iron Man to Spider-Man. Like if they're going to kill Peter Parker, which I'm not saying they won't do it. I doubt they ever will. At least make it a situation where you're passing the reins to somebody else. Don't just kill him and replace him with somebody.
Our big two passed the torch. We physically saw Cap pass the shield to Falcon, and Tony with what Happy told him in Far From Home and stuff, and what we know, like leaving him that protocol. Fucking Tony, he did pass the torch to Peter. Like literally, like they both passed their mantles off. Like except Peter's not going around being like, "Hey, I'm Iron Man." Falcon's gonna be affectionately Captain America. I don't know, Captain Falcon, whatever he goes with, Captain America. You know what I'm saying? But literally, like, you know what I mean? Like, they both did pass it down. And and I agree with you. I don't want to see him die. And I don't want to see him pass it off to Miles yet. I'm sorry. Like,
he's not ready yet.
Like, Katie brought something up on it, and he's not ready. I want to see him be, like you said, I want him to hold it, Spider-Man. You know what I mean? Like let him be there, let him be confident, or at least Pete. You know what I mean? Like I want to see, like you guys said, the Peter. He knows that he's at least he's going to try to take the burden on. Not like in Far From Home, he tried to pass it on. You know what I mean? Like I don't want this. Like
he wasn't ready. He wasn't ready.
Yeah, like I want him to, even if he fails, like I want him to see him be like, okay, I'm gonna take this on. You know what I mean? Give me at least 2 more movies, or at least 1 more solo movie, not 2, before he passes it to Miles.
Well, it's not even necessarily passing it to Miles in the sense of, it's this idea
or
that
mentoring.
Well, yeah, but the idea of Peter Parker is the joke is the Parker luck, which means he always has bad luck. Like Peter's in the comics only until like a while ago. There was a series where he was living at large. The Parker luck had done the reverse. He was actually doing well, and now we're back to the Parker luck back in the comics. But we have a confident Peter. We have someone who's sure of himself in that sense, but he is us through and through in the sense of, I have this power. I'm so worried. I'm confident, but I want to do what's right for everyone else. And he's willing to put himself on the line against everything else, his marriage, everything, to do what's right for everyone else. And
Sarah, you got anything to say? I feel like we just.
I'm just listening. I'm just rolling with it. You guys are on a roll.
She's
I'm
not
not even say a word. Y'all go right ahead.
But I think Miles is going to happen. I think we know he exists in this universe. We know his uncle called him in Far From Home. It's not Far From Home, Homecoming. And so he can exist, and he can easily exist. As I said before, I'll take the idea from the PS4 game. He gets bit at some point, and the Easter egg at the end is maybe we do see Miles as the person in this movie, and something happens, he gets another radioactive spider bite, and at the end the Easter egg is we've got Miles now. He's got power.
I like that.
And it worked really well at the end of it. And so then we
call him Spider Boy.
What we're gonna do? I've heard stuff about, we send, if the deal's not going to go through, we send Peter through the portals to go back to the Sonyverse. We continue having, Tom Holland in the Sonyverse.
That was fun.
I mean, one of my favorite pastimes.
I'm worried about this sequel. I'm worried about this trilogy because now we've gone the Spider-Man trilogies. I mean, we didn't get a trilogy with Amazing Spider-Man, but the second Amazing Spider-Man had the problem of almost, trilogies sometimes do too many villains, and I'm just hoping that we don't do too many villains, because we've heard Electro, now we're hearing rumors about the Spider Slayers. We've heard Kraven for a while.
That's cannon fodder.
Well, no, and I said that basically I see them as a CD kind of opening act kind of thing, but not our main baddie. But we've heard a lot of rumors of Kraven. So I don't want to. This movie really still needs to keep the eye on the ball with Peter at that point. So,
and with Strange's involvement in there, like Strange is a big gun to go to. You know what I mean? Like Fury in Far From Home, like that was the perfect amount of and Tony being aloof in the first one, But if you're going Strange, it's because you need a big but he can talk to him Strange. But if he's wanting, and I guess it depends on his involvement in there. But like if you're going to get Doctor Strange, like I would feel like you feel backed into a corner, like you really need some help, and Strange is a big gun to pull in, and it is what I would think. Unless you're going to jump through the multiverse, and then he's not necessarily a big gun; he's your guide or your transportation.
Well, even think about it like this, and I'll take from many different ideas when it involves magic at that point. Magic has a cost. Mm-hmm. So if he goes to Strange, or Strange seeks him out saying, I can end this. I can end this all in the sense of you own your identity, but there's a price. And so this is our this is our hint towards that awful storyline. There's a price.
Yeah, sorry, Brent. Mephisto's coming in.
That's what worries Brent and I in that sense. We both share the same worry. It's like we'll tolerate to a point at that point, but that's what worries us. It excites us as he put it that if I'm so excited, I'm so frightened. What that price could be. Yeah. Again, magic always has a price.
Okay.
This is true.
All right. Mm-hmm. Well, that's all I wanted. I just wanted to chatter with you guys. If you guys got more to say, that's fine. But that's just like I know this is some old shit. People listening right now are being like, "Oh God, this is like 2 weeks old." I just haven't got to conversate about it and rebuttal, so I apologize. But I'm ready if you guys are.
Okay, cool.
Because the next one I want to talk about is from DC Alliance, and hell to the mother effing yeah, Jared Leto coming back as the Joker. Hell yeah.
Hey,
hell yes. And I do firmly believe that David Ayer. Oh, damn it. All right. Sorry.
No, you go. I was going to say contractually obligated. Before we get into that, let's take a real quick break. We'll come back with some DC news.
Mm-hmm.
Cool deal.
Sure.
Well, folks,
give me a break.
Podcast magic. That's all right. We're going to take a real quick break here. We do not choose these ads. We just tell them where to put them. Volume gets somewhat loud.
We don't get to pick if they play them the same ad 3 times in a row, 4 times in a row, because that happens.
That's right.
I've heard it.
It's the ads, folks. But
the same ad 3 times in a row. The hell is happening?
That's right. But all right, we'll be back in about 30 seconds, and we'll talk about some DC stuff.
Break me off a piece of that bar.
All right, and we're back. So, Nathan, you want to talk some DC now, man? You're leading this, about what you want to talk about. So, ask me some questions, man.
All right,
ask us some questions.
Okay, first of all, like I said, let me get it back out. Hell yeah, Jared Leto coming back as the Joker. I love that.
Thank you.
Yes, I love that he's coming back, and not only do I love that he's coming back, but we know that Jared Leto is a method actor. I don't think he goes onto the set without getting fully back into character. Once he gets that makeup on, gets the tattoos, all that, I don't care if Zach's only got him there for a week. That's going to be a fucking fantastic week on that set for Zack Snyder. He's going to literally be on a set with the Joker, not Jared Leto, the Joker, because we know, and I know some people, he did the whatever. Okay. I'd like to be there and be around it. I would love to see it.
I miss his imitation.
Yeah. And I do firmly believe that the Ayer cut is coming, because I think there's a reason why David Ayer was like, I'm watching my cut of the movie for the first time since 2016. Right. You got Leto coming in because there's going to be more connective tissue, because I've got a feeling that what did we hear Leto say? That he put a lot of heart and soul into his Joker performance, and a lot got put on the cutting room floor. And the first trailer, people were like, oh, it's just like the comics. Oh, he's shitty to Harley, and he's a dick, and we don't like that because we want a love story. Shut the fuck up. Like, yeah, that's how it was supposed to be.
That's a very good imitation.
So I'm hoping.
I like that.
I know. They sound like all the tricks, don't
It's funny you say that, though, Nathan, because, like, I hear people complain because it's not comic book accurate. So I guess, but like, I agree with you. I think it is very
they complain about his look, that he's the gangster Joker. I got you. But the relationship, they were all, he's mean to Harley, and he's not very nice. Well, yeah, because watch the inspiration and the interpretation. Joker and their relationship, it is toxic. It is. It's one-sided. Joker gets everything. He's a dick to her, and she keeps coming back like an abused dog. That's the relationship until she gets strong enough to go out on her own, which she is now. But I'm just saying. I'm saying all to say. David Ayer, he did that right. Jared Leto put a lot of that performance. So I don't think he's willing to come back for this unless Zack Snyder tells him this is going to be even if it's a small connective tissue, it's going to be something meaningful. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be something where Leto's going to see, he's going to read the script or whatever it is, and he's going to go, you know what? I'm willing to put myself back into that mental state because he got prepared. But like I said, I don't think this is just a walk in and he's going to, maybe he's not method the whole time, but you know what I'm saying? I don't think this is just a walk in and a breeze, jump back in that role for the way he prepared for this. And I believe that David Ayer is going to release his original version, which was supposed to have a lot more, not necessarily connective tissue, but fit in better with Zach's version, you know, Man of Steel, BVS, Justice League. And I'm keeping my fingers crossed. I would love for this to mean Ben Affleck's coming for a role, but I think we're getting the Ayer cut, and I think that there's a reason why that Leto's coming back for this, because it's all going to connect, and people are going to get to see his true performance in the Ayer cut, and then you can judge. You don't have to like his look, but you're going to see his true performance. You know what I mean?
Well, the interesting thing is, like, Joker was never part of Justice League in any way, shape, or form. So this is a completely true additional this is new stuff. Now, could it be?
And it has to be meaningful for him to come back, don't you think?
True. No, I agree. I don't think Jared Leto is necessarily just going to just come back just for a bit part at that point. But we know that, and I think I said this on the Geekverse stream when we went live quick with it, that this Zach and Ayer were very much in communication with each other and kind of planning things out. And I said it's not like a Star Wars sequel kind of problem. So we knew that they were kind of in line in thoughts with what was planned at that point. But the idea that we get Joker, some of my ideas are, are we going to see him in the Nightmare sequence? Is he going to be part of the breakout with Lex? Are we going to see a flashback to the ending of Dick Grayson?
Mm-hmm. See,
all three. Hey, I'm going to add a fourth one. How about the very end? The very end there. Not only we see Lex, Joker, Deathstroke, and then you can throw in give me Will Smith's Deadshot or Suicide. Give me that, and we see the Legion of Doom there. How about that? Cause I want all of it. If I'll black, you know what? There'll be no edging with this movie. It'll just just one rush. Okay, just one rush.
Well, even with that idea, I think if people. The thing is, yes, I totally agree with you. This gives more credence that the Ayer cut is more likely going to happen than anything else. This is probably the biggest thing that could have happened to David Ayer getting this cut done. But if people don't, if you didn't like Jared Leto's Joker to begin with, nothing is going to bring you back in any way, shape, or form to this character. Because, again, the character is not going to change. It's not going to give you a new perspective on the Joker character. I guarantee you that. It's not
maybe not perspective, but there are. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you. I'm sorry. I just want to say there's some people that the Ayer cut is going to have a lot more footage of him. So being that the character's more fleshed out and being able to see more, that might not a big majority, but there's some people like Dave Robertson from DC on Screen who said he didn't see enough of him. He doesn't care one way or the other because he didn't see enough. You know what I'm saying? So if he sees more of this, he can make his decision where he'll either say, "Okay, I want more of that," or he'll go, "Yeah, F him."
I'll give you that in the sense. I think we hadn't seen, and I think that's what also rubbed people either the wrong way or they just didn't like it, was gangster Joker. We've not seen, at least portrayed on film and TV, a gangster Joker. We've just seen the serial killer psychotic. So
yeah, true. Nathan, what you're saying, I agree with you. I think there are people in that camp, but I agree with Chris as well, because there's people in the other camp of they're just going to look at it and they don't like the take on it, no matter what you give them of it, no matter how much you flesh the character out. They just didn't like. Just didn't like the take. Actually, you know what? I think he actually doesn't mind the take as much. He doesn't like the
whatever
look,
he said. He wanted to rip his teeth out or something. He wanted to rip his own hair out or something.
Yeah, I don't know, but I could be wrong. I don't want to speak for him, but that's what I took it as. But because I know he loves the Joker, so he likes different takes on it. But
yes, he does. Yes,
but yeah, my question is, we were talking about before when we talked about this on DC Alliance about the possibilities of all these characters bringing in, because they did also say that Harley Quinn was in talks about coming in for some film.
Yes, give it to me.
So yeah. So me and
keep putting the whipped cream on top of the pie.
That's right. I think Travis might have said this, that it's the possibility of maybe they're in the nightmare scene and this is a team that Batman has of these
I'll
characters,
take it.
Deathstroke and Harley Quinn and Joker, of people that have survived that he's trying to win back with. And the more I think about it, that's a pretty awesome sounding idea.
Especially with that trailer we saw, and you see in the web, you saw the Trident, you saw all that shit, and then you saw the Joker card fly by in that opening Nightmare Destruction, so they could give more credence. And they said that Amber Heard's back on the set too, and we know Aquaman's dead, but she supposedly survived. So hey, I don't care if it's 5 minutes of a cobbled together Justice League in the Nightmare scene, and just get it. Yes, give it to me. Yep, I'm there. Sign me up.
How cool would that be to see a Nightmare scene with like a 3.5 minute badass fight scene with Joker, Deathstroke, Harley Quinn, Mira, Batman fighting against parademons?
Well, yeah, but the only reason why Joker's on the team is because nobody gets to kill Batman but him, and that he's not going to let Darkseid or any parademon or anything. That's how I want it to be. Is the only reason why he's there is because once all this shit's done, he's killing Batman personally, because that's his kill.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So like he's almost protecting him, like the love interest and shit. Like that's what I want to see, is like Joker just being able to get away from my bat. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the only reason why they're teamed up in the Nightmare.
I can see that. Definitely see that. Sarah, what you think? I know you're a big Snyder Cut fan.
Yes.
What do you think about
hear
this news of these characters? Because I haven't heard your take on this. I know I don't know if you listen to DC
neither
or not, but
I listened to it when I listened to the after episode of the emergency when y'all had, when it was announced that Toledo was coming back.
Yeah.
I'm still kind of mixed reviews on that, because I was just not a fan of Jared Leto's Joker. I mean, I'm trying to look at it all different. Maybe having him more in it with more scenes, considering, like you said, majority of his scenes are on the cutting room floor, maybe it would make more sense.
Mm-hmm.
He just didn't make sense to me.
Okay.
But I mean, I'm willing to give it another go and see what the grand vision is. I mean, I'm kind of like one of those, I don't want to speculate too much. I just want it to happen.
Okay. Well,
but it is really interesting having all this stuff come out. So, I mean, it's a lot more than I think any of us had really originally expected. So it is a nice little treat to get to see that. But, yeah, if he got rid of the grills, yeah, I think I'd like him a lot better, because that just throws me off.
So that's what I wanted to ask you. Is it the look or the attitude, or maybe just a little bit of both? Because
I think it's more the look. I mean, because I'm cool with the attitude, because the scenes I did see, I mean, I kind of like that.
Yeah.
It's a different take.
Mm-hmm.
If you think about what we're used to as far as Joker goes, but it's just his whole look. I mean, it's a lot more. I don't really say clown-like. I mean, it is clown-like, but it's more just forced. His look just seemed just more forced to me, as to
genuine to you. Is what you're
no,
saying.
it doesn't.
Okay,
but like you said, I mean, maybe seeing more might change my mind. I don't know.
I didn't even think about it, but you're absolutely right. I think maybe the teeth. Maybe
it's just there's
the
just
teeth,
something.
It might give it a little bit of a different look. Yeah.
But
Batman bashed his teeth in, so.
Well, I was gonna
I
say,
get the
what if?
part of
But
it.
what if? Well, like Chris said, what if it's a flashback? What if we find out the killing of Robin and we see Batman bash his teeth in, and people go, "Okay, now I get it."
Well, that would make sense.
That's a great cleanup. That is called.
You know what I'm saying?
Right,
maybe in Justice League,
it.
if they do the flashback, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. I don't like it.
I almost kind of want to see that happen. I mean,
exactly.
I don't want to see somebody's teeth get knocked out. Actually, I wouldn't mind seeing Joker's teeth get knocked out, but
sure,
that'd be pretty fun.
I'd love it. I'd love it.
Well, what else?
Because can you just imagine that scene? Can you just imagine them cutting to it? Like, they don't even have to show him beaten. You just cut to the scene of a crowbar dripping with blood, and Jared Leto's Joker laughing, and Batman coming upon that, and him just pouncing on him, literally knocking his teeth down his. Oh God, give it to me! Come on, Snyder.
You basically got that.
Because we get Warehouse Batman beating the teeth out of Jared Leto's. Oh. I'm saying my prayers right now. Lord Jesus in heaven, can I please get some Joker Batman beating the shit out of him? Come on.
You've basically already seen that if you've seen the new Reeves Batman trailer, where Batman takes that guy and pretend that guy.
But it's not Joker.
And that's Batman knocking his teeth out.
But it's not
I'm just saying. That was pretty brutal. I love it though. It's so awesome looking.
Yeah, yeah. I told you that trailer caused me to put respect on Robert Pattinson.
Yes.
I will no longer call him the bat that sparkles, because wow, was I impressed. I'm going to tell you right now, I was impressed from just that footage.
Yep. So, well, what else, man? You got some more DC stuff you want to talk about?
Like I said, we talked at Oh, I was gonna ask. Do we know where he's filming at? Are they like doing location, or is he in a studio somewhere finishing this scenes up and stuff? Because has there been any set pictures? Has anybody sniped anything? Seen any cast members together? Or is this all being done on like WB Lot or HBO or wherever? You know what I mean? Do we know?
I'm not aware of anything, to be honest with you.
He's either he's confirmed filming going on, and we've seen pictures of the blue screens and stuff like that, but nothing else beyond that.
Well, it's
so
funny,
probably studio then.
Yeah, I've seen more stuff from Snyder put out pictures and stuff like that than normally whenever there are leaks for a movie. To be truthfully honest with you, he's always putting something out. He hasn't been as so much as of lately, but he's always putting something out.
He's working.
Great. Yeah,
that's a good thing.
Hard.
If he's going quiet, that's because he's literally filming and stuff.
That's right. Good deal.
But no, I think that's about all. I agree with you guys that Titans had better stick the goddamn landing this year.
Let's talk about that real quick. Yeah, Red Hood. What do you think about that, man? 'Cause I don't know your opinion on that. What did you think of the look?
I saw a quick picture of it. Doesn't look bad to me. I pictured the helmet like Travis said, because I saw Under the Red Hood was like my real first experience with I knew it was, but and that's like a motorcycle helmet almost, like a helmet. I don't picture anything cloth. I'm not a fan of they were mean to me, so I'm gonna be the Red Hood, not Robin. Like whatever. I'm not. I know that's what it is. I would rather him have met a crowbar, but either way, I don't care, because this is an opportunity to bring Tim in, and I think that would just be really cool to get the second best Robin in there, because I'm sorry, I'm a Dick Grayson guy all the way, and then Tim Drake. So if we get if it moves him up the ladder, we've got Nightwing now. We'll have Red Hood. Let's get Tim Drake in there.
All right. Well, quick question, because I know that they announced specifically that he will not die at the end of a crowbar. That it's going to be a fallout with Titans. Okay, so they told us that.
Mm-hmm.
Now I know that we were talking. About gosh, what was it earlier? Oh yeah, In the Darkness, Star Trek, and how Chris, you were telling me people were upset because they said that Benedict Cumberbatch was not Khan, and then he ended up being Khan. People got pissed off about that. Now,
J.J. Abrams lied.
Yeah,
straight to everybody's face.
Pissed off about that. Who gives a shit? He did a great job. Anyway, we'll get to that later. If by chance Titans, they said this, he's not dying at the end of a crowbar. He's going to fall out with the Titans, and then we see him die by a crowbar. Are you going to be pissed off?
People rejoice. No, they would rejoice.
Are you going to be pissed off? Because seriously, are you really going to be that mad they lied to you?
No.
There's absolutely no way in my mind.
No, this is
wait a minute. You're asking
voted for him to die.
Yeah. You're asking the idea of fans being rational.
Yeah, there you go. That's a good point.
Let's analyze that statement right now.
Yeah. Don't know what else.
If we don't hopefully when Donna Troy gets resurrected, she's beefed up so that a little electric shock doesn't kill her again, because boy, she's got to be one of the shittiest Amazons out there. She's barely Amazon. She's 4% Amazon if that thing killed her, because all the rest of them would just look at that shit and be like, ow.
I think we're going to see her back. I hope we do, because it was that was almost like Aqualad. I really felt bad the way it happened there, but they really they got really
the Green Lantern show throughout the how it's going to be kind of speculating all this. First of all, I love that they're bringing Alan Scott into the Lantern Corps proper, because I don't know much about him. All I know is that he was okay, yeah, we don't technically know.
He's in there.
He's going to be in the show, but we don't. But Chris is right. We don't know if they're going to technically bring him in proper.
Right.
Well, no, because even if it's a flashback, they could still be the first Earth Green Lantern was a guy who made his own and didn't really and just saw a Green Lantern and took the name. I get what he's saying.
Take
but
it.
Yeah, but I love they're gonna do that. I love that Guy Gardner, one of the most hated Green Lanterns, is gonna be front and center in one of these, because I think they've got an opportunity to make him still keeping Guy Gardner, where you're still this dick, but you want to root for him. You know what I mean? Where you're this dick, but all right, go kick their ass. You know what I mean? I want it to be that, because I know he's universally pretty much shat on, and then Jessica Cruz and Simon Baz come on, let's go. The only thing I hope is that don't give Simon that stupid gun. He doesn't need it. I hate that. I hate it, and I know why they gave it to him. The storyline is still yuck. You're a Green Lantern. You don't need that gun. Put it down. Right. But I'm fucking yes. I'm on it. I think that's so cool. I would have liked seeing Hal and John in there. But I think you save Hal and John to be your veterans, and you bring Kyle Rayner in as the new young gun. And maybe if these characters cross over with, along with the Jessica Cruz or whatever, if you're into the actual big movies. But I'm down for that. I kind of want.
Kyle Rayner.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They're not. That's what I'm saying. Is I'm hoping in the movies, if we're having Hal and John, I'm hoping what they do is they bring Kyle in the movies to be like the new recruit. I want it to basically be Lethal Weapon, and instead of them bringing in God, what's his name?
Kyle Rayner's Joe Pesci or Kid Rock?
Joe Pesci, yeah, exactly. Instead of Joe Pesci, it's Kyle Rayner. Okay, and without as many jokes,
Okay.
But that, yes, exactly, Greg. That's what I want.
Okay.
I want Hal and John to be Murtaugh Riggs, and then here we go.
Yeah.
Oh, they did confirm. They did. The direct said they got an exclusive where, based on casting, they're going to looks like have a main character that is a black female Green Lantern named Bree Jarda, a half human, half alien. Dad was human, mother alien, growing up in an advanced alien society on another planet. Described as extremely committed and hardworking to earn her Green Lantern ring, wanting to uphold the values of the Green Lantern Corps stands for.
I like it.
Her character will be partnered with fellow Green Lantern Guy Gardner.
There you go. I like it.
There may be and there may be friction. How can you not have friction with Guy Gardner?
So who was sexing an alien to have her out there? Like
Star-Lord.
You know what I'm saying? Like, talk about going where no man's gone before. Like, what's up?
He did it. It's his fault. I blame him.
Going out there doing alien sex. I mean, I'm hoping it's like a Lois and Clark situation where at least like you can pass it for I don't know. I'm all about that. Let's go. Let's make this MA. TV MA.
I think there are websites for that. I'm not sure.
Well, the thing was when I saw that, I immediately went to the most. When I saw that, I was like, "Oh my gosh, are they doing Far Sector?" In the sense of the character.
I've heard Brent and Ray talk about that.
It is an
really good comment.
Outstanding. I mean,
I've heard really good things.
It's not the same character name, but if they're not going to pull from that, I would like for them to, at the very least, do homages to that character because it is an outstanding new take on Green Lantern.
Okay. Far Sector.
Yes.
Check that one out. All right, Nathan, any other stuff you want to talk about, man? Any news you guys want to put out there?
I don't think so. I'm assuming, which we're not going to talk about it now, because you have to join us Sunday, but I'm assuming everybody here watched the season premiere of Mando.
I have
not
Did everybody
here catch
I have not yet, because I've only been on for like 45 minutes before we started this show. So
what is this Mando you speak of?
Yeah, what's Mando?
Yeah. Okay, so like I said, we're going to talk about it Sunday, but man, oh man, if you guys haven't seen that shit, you need to see that, because a little golf clap there, and that's my little teaser, and we'll get into it more Sunday morning. But other than that, I don't have shit. We can get into whatever you guys want to talk. I just want to play a little catch up. And I'm sure a lot of people fast forwarded past that.
Nah, everybody wants to hear your takes, man. They're awesome.
Sure.
There's Nathan's hot takes.
That's right, Nathan.
There's Nathan hot takes.
Nathan and Katie's hot takes. All right, cool. Well, I'll tell you what. Before we get into the last little part of the night where Sarah's going to shine, let's take our last ad break here. Once again,
right. Get your fast forward finger ready.
That's right. 30 seconds. We'll be right back, folks. And here we go.
Get ready for back-to-back political ads.
Biden will save the world. If you don't believe us, you'll hear it 3 times in a row.
Probably. Right. And we're back. And I wasn't saying probably to Biden saving the world 3 times in a row. I was just saying you'll probably hear that 3 times in a row. Sorry, I don't want to endorse anything here. But here we are.
That's just what happens. I've been listening to the episode, guys. I'm just telling you.
They're really tired of
the fucking Biden ads coming through.
It happens. Just let them put them in there. It'll be over soon.
Whatever.
So.
We'll go back to the. We promise listeners you'll go back to the same. Was it personal injury lawyer ad?
Yes, it was. Yes.
Wasn't that Red Bull ad one time? I thought.
No, I know what Chris is talking about, though. There was that one personal injury ad that just played over and over. And I'm like, man, they must think that we really hurt ourselves on this network.
Or we're going to. But all right, well, let's get into our last little segment here. As always, we're doing once a month. We sometimes do more than one movie a month. We try to do a movie series that we follow. We cover that once a month. This month, we're starting with Star Trek, the Kelvin Timeline rebooted series. We got 3 movies to talk about. Sarah, I know this is right in your wheelhouse. Get us going. I had such a great time watching this movie. It's been a while since I've watched the first one. I forgot how good it was. But get us going with Star Trek. Beam us up, I guess you would say.
Well, this one came out in 2009, and basically it was trying to reboot the franchise. So that's where it introduced the idea of the separate timelines, because it basically brought in all the original characters from the original series, like Kirk and Spock, Uhura, Chekhov, Sulu, everybody. Oh, and Scotty, one of our favorites. So it was kind of cool because the way everybody meets, it's a different, the way the movie is set up, you meet first, you see the, what is it? The ship, you actually get to meet George Kirk. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Which is he is the captain of the actual Kelvin. So it starts off and they come across this distress signal or whatnot, or some kind of anomaly, and then you see this massive ship that comes in, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, what is this?" So then you actually meet the Romulans, which is kind of cool in this timeline because for the majority of other movies, it's always been the Klingons that have been the basic villains. Mm-hmm. So it was really interesting to see that they chose another, because the Romulans have always been kind of shifty too. They're the ones that they're in the background. They're not really at the forefront. It's like I said, it's just shifty. Yeah. Because but it was really cool, and it was a really interesting different take on the Romulans, because they looked a lot different, because the ones that you meet on this ship, of Nero's ship, they have tattoos, and I mean, they just don't look like your typical Romulans that you're used to from all the other Star Trek series. Mm-hmm. So that was interesting as well. And I can't remember if it was this movie or Into Darkness. I mean, they kind of, wanted to get with the Klingons. Now, you did see Klingons later on in the other movies, but they look nothing like what the traditional Klingons that you were used to from, say, Next Generation, into all the other Star Trek series. So that was kind of cool.
Nobody looks like Worf.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they still had the cranial, like the cranial ridges and all that kind of stuff, but they just look completely different. But then, you go into Discovery, and that just blows it all out of the water. But other than that, let's see. So basically, you meet George Kirk, and then you see what happens between Nero, and he basically sacrifices himself to save everyone else, and boom. And then it comes into like this awesome scene of the first time that you meet James Tiberius Kirk. Yeah. He's like, what? Like,
I love that Beastie Boys song.
Oh my gosh, yes. They
use that later. Is it later in the movie or later in the
back rows, just driving that Corvette? Oh my god!
Before you move on, can I just say, like, this was my introduction to Chris Hemsworth, and he was in this movie for 10 minutes, and I was immediately like, who is this guy? Like, he had me sucked in. Mm-hmm. I was sad when he died, and like, I was like, dude, this was, like I said, like 10 minutes in, I'm like, yes, and I'm with these guys, and he dies, and I'm like, shit, you know what I mean? But then, like I said, it jumps right into the Beastie Boys, and just boom. Yeah. Like, I love that song anyway. It's just the perfect use.
And then another actress is Jennifer Morrison, which was actually Kirk's mom. I knew her from House, so it was really cool to see her in another role.
And Once Upon a Time.
Yes, yes, yes.
Mm-hmm. You know what's interesting about these movies is the first two especially. I'm a little indifferent about the third one, but the first two especially, it does such a great job of sucking you in emotionally. Like, there are so many scenes where I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel that. And you're right, Nathan. The first 10 minutes of this movie, I'm already sucked in where I feel for these characters. And I'm getting a little emotional watching what's going on. I'm like, holy crap.
Oh, man. I'm telling you. And like, he's naming his child and he gets to hear it. And I'm like,
as a father, I hear that. I'm
like, he's going. Like, I'm getting.
Yeah.
My wife said like she watched just the first 10 minutes of it the other day. Like it's been like 3 or 4 weeks ago when I watched it. She was just like that first time. She's like, I'm glad I'm leaving. I'm like, I know.
The first 10 minutes looks like the end of another movie.
Mm-hmm.
Which
Yeah,
is pretty
it is
cool the way
crazy.
they did that. And I never noticed until today when I looked at it how great of a casting job they did with Chris Pine and how what's his name, Hemsworth. That they make him look they look very similar. Like there's that one scene with Hemsworth where he's flying through and you just see his face real quick. I was like, man, he looks like Chris Pine, or I could see the resemblance there, even though they're not, obviously related. But they did a good job of that casting or making him look like that.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool too because that's one hell of a way for Kirk to be born. With all this going on, because it's almost like even if you didn't know the character of Kirk, once the movie goes, forward, you're like, oh my gosh, this just gives you a foreshadowing of all the craziness and interesting situations that he would be thrust into. So it's almost like he was born into the captain's chair almost.
Right.
Kind of, sort of.
Yeah. Zachary Quintos, I think, is a great Spock. I don't know what you guys think, but I think Zachary Quintos, like spot on, great Spock. I totally bought into it.
I have no reference with the older Spock, other than pictures, and I've heard stuff before. But I thought he did a fantastic job too. Good, Chris.
Well, getting back to like the whole thing, his dad dying, when he finally meets Pike at that point, I love the conversation in the bar where he basically Pike just slams him down, saying, "Your father was captain of a starship for 12 minutes. He saved 800 lives, including your mother's and yours. I dare you to do better."
Yeah.
That's a great galvanizing boom.
I got chills. Like, oh man, that's awesome.
Just even in the overall makings of this movie, J.J. Abrams had said beforehand that he was setting out to make a Star Trek movie that not only Trek fans would like, but could also bring in Star Wars fans.
And it did.
And hey, this guy right here brought me in because I was a Star Wars guy, and the other ones, but this one, I love this trilogy. Brought me in, so it got me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm the same way, man. Like the first time I saw this, I was like, "Holy shit! What have I been missing my whole life? What have I done? I've wasted so much time not watching this." And to be honest, I haven't gone back and watched any of the prior stuff, but I love these movies. I really want to see this move forward, but I don't know if they're going to or not. But man, they did such a good job with these movies.
Chris, this one is like a completely different feel from the old ones. So, but I mean, that was the whole point. So,
and can I say real quick before Chris takes over, the way they handled time travel, brilliant. For once, I look at a movie or I look at something with a time travel in it, and every bit of it makes sense to me. Loved it. You look weird when I said that, Nathan. Do you not agree?
No, I was just like,
I loved it. Yeah.
I was just thinking about it, and I'm like, oh, yeah.
They did perfectly.
It works.
You want to say something?
Yeah, I really do enjoy this trilogy. I'm a huge. I got introduced to Star Trek through the movies, and then got into the TV shows and things like that. But seeing the movies have always been one of my just a new take on it. It's like what we said. Even the worst Star Trek, even the worst Star Wars movie, it's still Star Trek. It's not. And so this was a very different, updated take. But I like how they honored the past. I mean, obviously bringing Spock into it, but I love the interactions that he has, with Chris Pine's Kirk, and just saying, he has that line that I shall be and always will be your friend, and just what he was trying to do, and the moments of Carl Urban nailing Bones is just like he outright has channeled DeForest Kelley. I didn't think anyone could ever have the mannerisms and the acting chops to really get DeForest Kelley's portrayal of Dr. McCoy and not look like a parody of himself.
Yeah.
David Xanatos.
It's so Xanatos. Who's that?
From Gargoyles.
Oh yeah. Well, no. That's Jonathan Frakes.
Oh, I'm thinking.
That's Riker.
My bad.
Yeah,
my bad. I got
I was like, I know.
I don't know. Hey, I don't know the old school stuff, guys. Sorry, I don't know the.
I was like saying, did I say Frakes?
No. That was me. That was my bad misunderstanding. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Take away one of my cool points.
I think that the casting in this is phenomenal. Like once again, I'm not familiar with the older cast and crew, but I mean I know of some of them. Like I've seen Star Trek before. I've never been really into it. But I think Chris Pine and Zachary Quinto play off each other so well. I love Zoe Saldana. Put her in anything and everything.
Oh,
she's
she melts in your mouth and out in your hand.
Love Zoe
Good
Saldana. Who was the guy?
For crying out loud,
woman
he's
is
got
gorgeous.
like three franchises that she could literally just do that for the rest of her life and be done. Absolutely
Have
done.
you ever seen her in anything else? Like her and Mark Ruffalo, she does some really great stuff, man. Like,
she does.
Really amazing
Outside
actress.
of that, yes.
Amazing actress. But just the casting. Who was the guy that plays the with the Russian accent, the Russian sounding guy?
Chekhov.
Anton Yelchin.
Such a sad story.
It's Chekhov.
Passed away. Yeah.
I hate the way that because I loved him in that role. He did such a great job. What's Zulu? Is that the other guy's name?
Sulu.
Awesome character, great casting. I loved it. Perfect. Everything about. The only thing I didn't like about it when I first saw it, but now that I've watched it more times and especially now, is I didn't like Eric Bana. I just didn't like the casting. Didn't think it looked good, and I think that was because I was fresh off seeing him in either a romantic movie or The Incredible or the Hulk that he came out with, and that was what I'd seen him off of. So when I saw him in this, I was like, nah, I'm just not buying it. But I haven't seen him in anything in a while. Watched it today. It's been a long time since I've seen this movie. Watched it today, and I was like, that's pretty believable. I don't know what I didn't like about it before.
Right.
So
Right.
didn't do a bad job.
Well, think about it. At that time, I think he was in a lot of other films as well. So it's almost you kind of got oversaturation with him. It seems.
Maybe.
'Cause it's like every time you turned around, he was in something. Because he was in Troy as well with Brad Pitt. So
That's true.
Yeah.
I remember that one.
Yes.
It's just a soft face. Like I feel like you could break his jaw with one punch. I don't know why. It's just, I'm sure I couldn't, but just a soft-looking face. I don't know what it is. Maybe that's why he wasn't a good Hulk for me. I'm not sure. But
Right.
So what is some of y'all's favorite parts about this movie? Because there was a lot of stuff in this movie that was great.
I just loved Chris Pine as Kirk. He kept the swagger, but it wasn't a parody or satire or something exactly like that had been done before. I mean, he wasn't. He took his own, but it's just like the Koburashi Maru, that whole that situation. But I just love the storytelling because even though I knew the original story, it still followed kind of that timeline, but you could tell where it kind of spiked off and went off in different little shoots, but it was still believable. So at one point you realize you're like, okay, and that's what I loved about this movie, because even if it does have an offshoot, it's still part of that story and you still have your original rolling right along. So it wasn't like I never felt like they were recreating something. I just got the feeling that, okay, this is just we just made a little turn and just kind of doing their own thing.
You're right, Sarah, in that sense of like, what is the effects of him not having a father figure in his life? One that he can believe in. What does that affect? He's still brash. He's still the one who's gonna cut corners to cheat death at all times, and we never really got, the original series, we see him being brash, but he's also, again, he's grown through that. We never got to see Kirk at his youngest and had this brashness about it. So it's nice we get a portrayal of it to say, okay, like you said, it's a twist on it, but we could still buy it as, okay, this is Kirk. This is totally Kirk.
Yeah, it's a cool origin as well because it doesn't just jump straight into one thing. And plus you get a backstory on Spock as well because he's a human Vulcan hybrid. He's got a human mother and a Vulcan father. So it's really interesting also to see because he always
that was emotional. Yeah,
because throughout Spock's story, he's always fighting his both halves. It's like because the Vulcans always want to suppress their thing is to suppress emotion. Well, humans obviously we thrive on our emotions. So he's always at that which side do I pretty much go towards? You know, am I more Vulcan or am I human?
I think
So
he
in this
tackles
movie,
that a lot in the next movie too. Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. So I mean, and you do see a lot more emotion in this Spock than you would, but then again, with Spock and Uhura, that was probably the only thing that was kind of weird to me. I don't know why. I was just like,
Was that not a
I
thing
liked
in
it.
the original?
No.
Okay.
No.
I wasn't sure.
No.
Okay.
Well, I liked it. I thought it was quite a nice little touch because I was like, you know what, good for him.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like let's go.
Yeah. But
but I mean,
wanted
I
to-
thought. And then, go ahead.
Oh no, you're finishing your thought. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to go to another thought with Winona Ryder as his
Go
mom.
ahead.
That was kind of cool. So, you know, to see her, I was thinking, oh, well, this is an interesting.
I didn't even notice that, to be truly honest with you. But
And then
wasn't
Ben Cross was
The
Sarek.
destruction of Vulcan was crazy. Like man, that was emotional. Like the way he lost his mom stuff. Like that was another where I'm like, oh, come on, man. Like what are we doing? You know, like,
But it was really impressive how he suppressed all that, though, until Kirk pulled it out of him. He's just
and
like,
I love that scene where he pulls it out of him too. Spock of two
he got
timelines had to
choked.
watch his
Well,
his
I like it
destroyed.
how the older Spock tells him, like, saying, I just lost my entire planet, my mother, and stuff like that, and you have, poke at that.
Right, I'm emotionally compromised. Yeah, I'm definitely emotionally compromised. I wanted to ask you guys, Scotty, the little creature that's with him. What's his name?
Discount Ugnaught?
Discount Ugnaught or Nathan. This goes back to what we were talking about on Star Wars. I'm going to do a Star Wars Star Trek crossover. He reminds me, in my mind, when I think of the Nogri, that's what I would think of. Just based on the voice I hear in Thrawn, just in my mind, that's what I think of.
It's Keenser.
You're off, but yeah.
He's played by, if I'm not mistaken, if you guys have seen the Johnny Depp version of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory,
Yep.
the little fellow that plays the Oompa Loompa.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
That's
Yeah.
him.
Yeah, okay.
And he was even in one of the Transformer movies. He was the little border guard.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
He's a
But
funny
yeah,
guy.
Scotty, I loved him in this one. I mean, anything Simon Pegg does is just fantastic.
That was a great casting too. I thought he played.
Yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
not familiar with the role, but I love that character in this movie.
And if I'm not mistaken, he wrote the third one. He helped write the third one, if I'm not mistaken. I'm gonna look that up, but I'm almost confident he has.
I want to say you're right.
And I don't think he auditioned for that role. I think Abrams just called him and said, "Look, dude, I got a part for you. You want to do it?" And he's like, "Yes, absolutely."
How similar is he to the original version?
Well, James Doohan, I mean, he was Scottish as well. So, I mean, they were pretty much tit for tat, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
There's also a fan fiction version of the original series where his son is actually stars in that. I think that one is, I think that's a YouTube little offshoot that they've done, which is really cool.
Okay.
Yeah, he was one of the co-writers of it. And Greg, I'll talk to you offline of a different way you can look at this movie when you rewatch it.
Okay. Nathan's smiling. Like he's like, "Yep, I know."
Well, because I thought that was interesting where you kind of said you like the first two a little better or whatever it was, because most diehard regular Trek fans that you hear go, "Oh, number 3 is way better. That's more to the likings of the original series."
That is crazy. Okay, yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's the only one I saw in theaters.
However you
because
say.
I was so
Yeah.
impressed with the first two. That's the only one I saw in theaters. I'm going to go see it in theaters. Maybe I hype myself up for it too much because I tend to do that, and I haven't watched it since then. I don't think. So maybe if I watched it again, I would enjoy it more. But it was the.
But that's what most diehards. Yeah, that's what most diehards of the Kelvin timeline, they consider that one to be the best because it is closer to the original timeline.
It is.
And the structure and pacing and kind of like how it usually goes. Because like I said, J.J. Abrams set out to make Star Trek movies the Star Wars fans could get into too. And that's why the first two were directed by him, and that third one I forgot who the director was. It was the only thing he had to do with it was his production company, and whoever did it made it feel a lot more like the original and Next Generation and all that.
Justin Lin was the director of that. He's now taking over. He's been the Fast and Furious director for a bit.
This track record's not going great.
Fast and Furious. I don't know. Box
Just
office
saying.
would beg to differ on that one, Greg.
I don't know. Dang, I had one question. Oh, I wanted to talk about one scene. The scene where they're doing the they're jumping out of ship. They're trying to take out the drills, I guess, and they're flying down. They have to parachute down and land on that platform. I want to do that so bad. I want to do that so bad. I can't stand it. I want to get in a wingsuit. I want to go base jump. I want to do that so bad. And others say, "Oh, let's go do it." I don't know. I want to do it, but I have kids, and it's expensive. But man, that's one of those things that you got to get into when you're younger to actually be able to do as you're really older. I'm not sure, but man, that scene was so cool. I loved the look of that. The fight scene, everything about it, really, really cool. Action scenes were done really well in this series.
I agree.
I like when he's getting choked by the Romulan at the end and he can't talk and he's asking him what he says and he's like, "I got your gun," and he shoots him. I was like, "Oh, that's great." Didn't see that coming. So many things about this movie though that I really, really enjoyed. It turned me on to Star Trek. And are they planning on continuing this franchise moving forward? Is there any news about it?
There was some, back in like August, September, something like that. It was, I think it's been shelved for a while, but I don't.
Yeah, they're not there. There was one rumor that's saying that they're out of the movie business. They're focusing on the streaming idea, and then they then that Paramount came out and Viacom and corrected it, saying no, we're not shelving it. It's just we're reevaluating everything. The last time we had heard anything about it was Pine and Hemsworth were really wanting to continue on. Hemsworth was going to come back, and it was supposed to be some sort of another time traveling idea, and they were really on board, but money, scripts, no one could come to an understanding about it, and it's basically right now we don't know what's happening with the movies. I think to say that they are focusing on streaming is not necessarily a lie by any stretch of the imagination, because that's one of the biggest things of a selling point for CBS All Access, soon to be Paramount Plus.
See, I just hate that.
Everything needs a plus.
Yeah. I just hate that though when somebody says, "Oh, we really, really want to do this, and we're passionate, and we're about them, but we can't come to a money agreement, so we're not going to do it." It's like, well, how much do you really want to do it then? Like, if you really wanted to do it, I mean, wouldn't $100,000, enough to make most families double their life's value, every year? Wouldn't that be enough to, do 4 months of filming? Like, just seems crazy to me. I don't know.
I'll play devil's advocate on the sense of like when Hemsworth did do the first one, he wasn't the Thor Hemsworth we knew him.
Sure.
Now he is. Chris Pine wasn't, was still up and coming at that point. He was doing some stuff, and now, he's not Hemsworth live, but he's also gone up at that point. So I'm not saying that, you and me, we wouldn't take much of us. Didn't take much to get us to do that at that point. But, it came down to that, and they couldn't come to an understanding. So be it. Well, good thing about Star Trek, guess what?
We can
create a new timeline. Create a whole new
Star Trek. Paramount. If they want a fucking $2 billion movie, you just have Chris Hemsworth, Chris Pine naked, wiener sword fighting. In the Enterprise, you'll be $7 zillion because every lady and the man who liked that kind of thing will be the theaters will be packed. They're $2 billion film right there.
Took a very interesting turn at that point.
Well, you know what? Your actual wiener sword fighting comment made me think. Did these movies make any money?
What the heck happened?
Did these movies make any money? Were they successful financially? Like a wiener sword fighting
This one was. This first one was because I think it made about $386 million with a $150 million budget. So I mean that was pretty well.
Well, that's close to breaking even, though, isn't it? Isn't Double pretty much close to breaking even?
Well, and I think this one also won some Academy Awards as well.
Okay.
So I mean, this one was very
visual effects and shit.
Yeah, and this one was pretty good. I mean, like I said, the other two, it was questionable, but.
Second one got 467.4 million, so it raised it up, and last one is the least close, 343.5. But there's a lot of problems with the marketing behind that one. It was an offense to most of us Star Trek fans for what was supposed to be an anniversary year, and they
I think it was like 50? Wasn't it like the 50th anniversary?
50th anniversary, and they basically did the middle finger to all the fans in the movie.
I mean, they had a prime opportunity to just like blow it up, and they just I mean, really. I mean, it was just like a
can't wait to
blurb.
review that so y'all can talk to me about that. Because like I said, I'm not a Star Trek fan. I don't see it. But it was my the least favorite of my three. But it's funny you say it's the most favorite of the three. Like hardcore fans, but they feel like it was a big middle finger to him at the end. It's really weird.
Oh, that poor puppy.
I know, man. Pitbull, man. He won't be quiet. I know.
Well, another cool thing about this is Alex Kurtzman. He was actually one of the writers of this, and he's basically been on everything else. I think he did this one. I think he was I think Into Darkness as well. And then also with Discovery and Picard, he had a little bit of something to do with Lower Decks. So, I mean, basically, he's had his hands in everything.
He's
so
the Filoni of Star Trek, basically.
Well, basically, kind of took Roddenberry's vision and just kind of ran with it. Just
What'd you
kind of.
call me? I'm not a Roddenberry.
So,
Well, anything else y'all want to point out about this movie other than the fact that we loved it? I mean, we talked about a few scenes we liked. We love the actors.
Kicks ass.
It does kick ass. Like I said, I forgot how much I enjoyed this one. But really, really glad I got to rewatch it. Thank you so much, Sarah, for I don't want to say forcing us to do it, but for suggesting for us to do it.
yes, I forced you to
Putting
do
it
it.
out
Yes.
there. Yeah, that worked.
Say it.
Okay, forced me to do it. No problem. But it was really fun. Awesome movie. And by chance, if you haven't
Excellent.
seen Low Country Cannabis,
I just can't.
said that just ain't right. I don't know what he's referring to.
What did he say?
That just ain't right.
Probably the wiener comment you had.
Oh,
Yeah.
probably. Yeah. How it made me
Who said that? Who said the comment though?
Low Country Cannabis.
Oh, well, I mean, sorry. I mean, it might be right. I can't wait till after we go through Star Trek. We're going through Chris's most loathed film franchise, and he just hates it. Wants to burn it to the ground. We're going straight to the Wizarding World, and we're going to Harry Potter, so we can just hear Chris just cuss for 8 movies. Just
I think he'll
F
like
this
it more.
movie and F Hermione, and how
It's
you
like,
just
no.
told me it's the only time you ever wanted to stab a kid in the eye. It's what he told me. I said, Chris, you can't talk like that, buddy. You can't. We know. It's just a movie, buddy. It's just a made up kid.
No, my vehement hatred is for Dude, Where's My Car? That's where that hatred is for.
Oh,
Only movie I've ever walked out of and asked for my money back.
Really? I've never done
Yes.
that.
dude.
I have. That was DiCaprio. That movie was
What was it?
The Beach with DiCaprio. Oh my God. Oh, I didn't even know what was going on.
Neither
Yes,
did
there was
he,
a beach, but that was
apparently.
it.
Yeah, neither did he. He's gone on a regular. Yeah, no one knows what the movie's about.
I mean, usually I can kind of go with it, but not this one. You're sitting there like, I'm like, can we leave now? And as much as I love movies, that was, yeah, I couldn't believe that.
It's crazy. I don't think I've ever had. I've had movies that I've wanted to walk out of, but never one that I've got to get my money back. I can't take this. So, but I mean, nothing wrong with that. I'm sure probably one day there's going to be, but we'll see. Hopefully there's not. See what happens.
Hopefully.
You first have to go back to a movie in order for that to happen.
That's true.
Yeah.
And I think
man.
it'll probably be years from
It's
now
true.
just because I'll be so excited about going to see movies because I haven't been able to see them in so long. Because that was a big thing for me is going to see movies. So one of my favorite things to do.
Me too.
But, all right. Well, y'all got anything else y'all want to point out about Star Trek? This is gonna be, I guess, the first
Wiener
episode.
sword fight.
Yeah, Wiener Sword Fight. That's gonna be in the title. Wiener Sword Fight.
Right. I think that should be the name of the
Wiener Sword
episode.
Fight.
Mark,
Yeah, I was about to
Mark
say, it
72,
sounds about right.
Wiener sword fight.
And we did know it. That was the Low Country Cannabis does say yes. That was what the This Just Ain't Right comment was about. Was the Wiener Sword Fight, or I don't know if it was the Wiener Sword Fight or my comment in the Wiener. I don't know. But anyway,
I'm like, should I be offended?
yeah.
No. But by offended, that's her word for turned on. She's like, over there. She's thinking Chris on Chris action. She's over there loving that. Just 2 shirtless Chris's, a Hemsworth and a Pine.
I want to see that though. That might. Shirtless one. Yeah, that I don't know about that. I might like. Okay.
Oh man.
All right, and this has been your creepy corner of SCS, and I apologize.
It's the best
But
way to end the show. It definitely
moving on.
Yeah, keep it.
But I just will say this about Star Trek. I'm just glad that you guys actually got the chance to rewatch because I'm really looking forward to watching the other 2. I've seen 500 times already, but hey, any reason I'm down.
I hear you. It's like me with Star Wars
Because
or Batman versus.
all Star Trek is valid.
I hear you.
It's all valid.
Well,
I'm not going to
okay.
pick cues. It's all
Even the
valid.
one where they try to find the whale? Isn't there one where like they find a whale?
Yeah.
That's
Find a whale or
awesome. That
something?
movie
So
rocks.
cool.
All right.
That movie rocks.
So,
Yeah.
Sarah, you got me into this, and you've got me into this, and Lower Decks so far. And so far, everything I've seen Star Trek, I've really enjoyed. So keep.
What do you
steering
think
me
about
in that
Lower
direction.
Decks?
I loved it. You know, I haven't watched any. I watched the first half of the first season before we did the episode. I haven't watched any of it since then. I've just been working so much, but I'm going to watch the rest of it. I want to get into Discovery because apparently it's pretty good, and I'd like to check out Picard sometime. And maybe we'll
I'd like
talk
to check
about all
out
that
Picard.
stuff on here. Yeah, it sounded all
I
right.
heard that it stumbled from fans, so I heard that it wasn't as smooth as they would have liked from some fans, not from all, but it's just what
You
I've
talking
heard
about
from
Picard?
some fans on Picard. Yeah, on Picard.
Picard has a totally different feel than what was previously. So it's, and if you have
Maybe
any,
that's what they're talking about then.
yeah, I
I'm
mean
not
it's.
sure.
Now, I will say some parts feel a little forced, like you need a little more backstory, you need a little more filler to kind of for it to make sense. But I feel like the overall story, I think it was fairly successful. Like I said, there's like kind of little side arcs there. In retrospect, you kind of look at it like, I don't really
Could use a
know
little
how
more
that
fleshing out.
came. Yeah, and then there is one part that it would probably serve. I think it was just there for just like a smidge of fan service, just to kind of. I don't know if you would really give closure to that one, but I think it was really given as like a jumping point for another character. But yeah, I mean, in retrospect, I can see the criticism, but overall, I mean, I thought it was an interesting story, an interesting
Well, but
line they took.
yeah.
Let's check it out. Well, all right. Well, once again,
I'll tell you what. It's no. If they want to say it was bad, saying, well, so far the only thing I could say is the worst Star Trek ever is motion picture. That's just me.
no.
I own it and I don't watch it.
I saw it not too long ago.
Oh, dude,
I-
that one
I-
there.
when did that
My Star Trek starts with Wrath of Khan. That's where my Star Trek starts.
Absolutely. And funny you should say that, because the next one we talk about, there's something really interesting that pertains to that movie.
Oh, I'm interested to hear it.
Yeah.
Like I said, the next
Yeah.
one is my favorite of the three. I absolutely love this movie. Very emotional ending, and I love the way.
I really like it too.
Yeah, really enjoy
Well,
it.
I don't care. I still like First Contact. That's one of
Oh
my
yeah, that's
top
the next
favorites.
generation best. That is.
I love those. I loved all the Next Generation movies, even though they got shat on. But
Tom Hardy's the best part of Nemesis.
yes,
Borg Life?
because that's the first.
Was that
introduction I
the
had to
first Borg Life or what?
No. Mm-mm.
Oh, what? No.
No.
It's Contact.
What?
Yeah, Contact was
damn
with the
it.
Borg. Yes.
My dogs are going nuts. They're killing me. I'm like going back and forth. Like people are
Well,
watching
that
on
sounds
YouTube
like the
just
signal
swing
we
back
need to
and
close.
forth.
Wrap it up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like-
All
I can
right,
watch
we can
this
shut
every
this
week.
shit down. Bring it in for a landing.
Oh no.
Bring it into Starfleet.
Yeah.
We need to dock this.
Well, time to be hitting the old dusty trail. Oh, there's the fire escape.
Ah.
All right. Well, like I said, if we're wrapped up, man, let's talk about where they can find you at. Sarah, where can they find you if they want to talk to you?
You can find me on Twitter at MyLadyKitten. Just drop me a line or tweet, whatnot. I mean, I'm there pretty much all the time. That's how I keep up with you guys. Then also I want to, on this eve, I want to wish everyone a happy Halloween. I can't wait to share with you my kids' costumes. They're going to be really interesting. And I think I'm going to be the one taking them trick-or-treating this year, so that's going to be refreshing. Usually I sit in the driveway with the adult beverages and passing out the candy, so this is going to be real fun.
Maybe I'll walk around with
Tonight.
beverages.
Well, I mean, probably will. I don't know. I'm going to have to, because it's going to be cold tomorrow night. And, you know, when I got the tiara and gauntlets on, you know, I'm just going to have to,
Right.
you know, so, yeah. But anyway.
Tonight was trick or treating in my town. I took my son for like the first time for real walk around. Oh man, he had an absolute blast. And like once he filled his bucket up, he was done. He was ready to go. He's like, got everything I need. Got a full bucket of candy. It was only took us like an hour to do because he was done. Once he got his hour in, he's good.
What was his costume?
The Red Power Ranger from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. All right,
that.
he was the Red Power Ranger.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. And he loved it.
Oh, fantastic. Fantastic.
Well, Nathan, where can they find you at, buddy?
Sunday on the live stream talking about the Mandalorian. Sunday morning at what time is it? What time zone are you in right now, guys? Which one's yours?
I think 10 Eastern Standard Time is what we're in.
Mm-hmm.
Eastern Standard Time. Okay, so you can find us live 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 9 a.m. Central Standard, whatever the fuck I am, in Illinois time over here. But yeah. But as of right now, like that's the only place you can find me is in these chat rooms when we go live and stuff. I'll be back around Twitter eventually, but I just
No, you won't.
right now I don't have any need for any of that.
Maybe first of the year, maybe.
Yeah, like I said, maybe 2021. That's when I'm gonna make my grand re-entrance. Because I think 2020 is just a wash.
I can agree with you on that. I can understand that.
Mm-hmm.
Chris, where can they find you at, buddy?
You can find me on Twitter at Chris Balga. You got World's Finest True Believers. Monday, we're doing a new episode with our Ranger Alliance host, going with this image series. Fun image series. That, but I'm just going to leave it at that. We'll see the preview at that point. Tweeted at that point, and then Marvel Alliance will still drop on Wednesday, but we're going to be going live on Monday afternoon with the election happening Tuesday and stuff like that. Focuses are going to be elsewhere, so we'll go live Monday afternoon. So, but audio will still drop Wednesday.
And that's just for this week?
Just for this week. And Mr. Snell is back and returning, making his triumphant return.
The marvelous return.
The hell does he care about voting? He's up there in Canada. He don't give a shit.
I made that call. That was
He's up there going, what the fuck do I care about these American assholes for?
Oh, gosh. I'm sorry, y'all. My dogs are going absolutely insane right now.
All right.
All right. You can find me at the BatDaddy52 on Twitter. My personal handle. Talk to me about just about anything. I'm down to debate or take different conversations in about different topics on things. Just be civil about it. It's a fun time to talk. I'm on a lot of other things.
Suck, and they got their asses beat last night.
What? I'm not going to disagree with that. I'm not going to disagree with that statement.
Tread lightly, my friend. Tread lightly.
If you go on the C3 Panthers podcast and check it out, you can hear my exact thoughts on what the Panthers.
His hot takes.
Bridgewater.
Dude, I was so mad. I couldn't even finish. I mean, I was like, I couldn't.
Oh, it was terrible.
How mad I was.
You were in there for a little while, I saw that, but it's terrible. But,
yeah, I was.
Yeah, I'm all over the place. Geek Ultimate Alliance Network. If you check me out, I think I've been on every show this week except for World's Finest True Believers, and of course, DC Weird Science not DC Weird Science Comics and the New Rangers. So I'm on almost every show this week. We'll see what happens, but I get around.
Yeah.
All right,
yeah, you do.
It's late. It's been a long day, man. I've been putting in 13-hour days at the post office for the last few days. I'm ready to get to bed. Y'all got anything else you want to put out tonight?
I'll see.
Star
Think
Trek
that's
rocks.
it?
All right.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, let's get out of here. And until next week, y'all keep pounding.
Bye, guys.
Later.
Bitch.